What's up, everyone? It's Thomas with Real Broker here in St. Augustine, Florida, coming at you live every Wednesday at 8 p.m., going over the market stats, the news you need to know about if you think about buying, selling, or investing here in Northeastern Florida. And we're also doing a Q&A. So if you're watching it live, you're watching the replay, make sure you throw out those comments below. I'm here for you guys every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So if you do have any questions, any comments, go ahead and fire them off below. If you like what I'm saying, if you dislike it, just let me know in the comments. I am trying a new streaming platform. Should be going to Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you are watching from any of those platforms, please let me know with a comment below. It helps me in the algorithm, of course, but I also just want to make sure that it's all working the way it should be. Because ideally, I want to keep running forward with this because it's pretty easy to set up and kind of like the format. So let me know where you're watching from, guys. I really appreciate it. And we'll be adding more stuff to this as well as we get better and better. So let's go ahead and I'll start by sharing my screen here. Just give me 1 second. I don't think I want to share the entire screen. Let's see. Google Chrome. Here we go. This is what I want to share here. So, and if you can't see it, let me know in the comments below. Once again, I am new to this right now. So we're going to take a look here at Domus Analytics. This is something that's provided based off of our MLS here, which is pretty much what all the realtors, it's a Realtor Zillow essentially. And the big thing I want to show is what's going on in the marketplace over the past year, right? This is a median sale price within St. Johns County and just St. Johns County. And our average sale price is actually about $100,000 more expensive. So if you're looking here, you can see our median sale price is $539,000. And this is just for single family homes within St. Johns County. Let me see, I may have to go into the actual folder here. Yeah, so hopefully you can see this. Yeah, okay, you can. Great. So this is here for March. We don't have April's data just yet. We probably will in probably the next week or so, so I'll cover it next week. But you can see just based off of this, we're down 3.7% from the same period last year where our average or median sale price was $560,000. Now, the one thing I like to mention with our market, and we can show you this right here, is that, and with many markets, this is not just St. Augustine, is that it's seasonal, right? So we have the hottest time, you know, if you're looking to sell your home, you're probably going to get the best price for your home during summer. If you're looking to buy a home, you're probably going to get the best price in February, March of the entire year. And that's just because it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, and it continues to do so. And typically, overall, we have been seeing appreciation year over year. But sometimes from year over year, if you're looking at the same month of this year compared to last year, same month, you might see a decrease. But the important part to know is that we're pretty much past that. So if you look at February of this year, we're at a median sale price of $495,000, which is pretty low compared to what we have now, which is $539,000. You can see that we're actually up 9% from just last month. I'm going to show you another statistic here, but I want to make my point with this. So we're at February of this year, $495,000. February of last year, 2023, at $510,000. And then, let's see here, February of 2022, $482,000. So if you notice, just from these three valleys, each of them are in February. Pretty interesting, right? So then we'll go down here, and maybe that's 2021 is probably the anomaly year, right, where you really can't count it. But 2021, February, $399,000. And if you keep going back, you'll keep finding that February, March is really the bottom of the market when it comes down to what's happening for the entire year. So this doesn't surprise me, especially given interest rates and what's happened in the market. But this actually really surprised me, 9% in a month. But that is also factoring. So really, if we're 9% up, we would have been down, what's good math there, an extra 5% essentially year over year from last month. So let's look at the days on market here. So days on market is really important. It kind of gives you a gauge on what's going on, how fast are homes going off of the market. So we're going to look at here from March 2024. So we're at 37 days, which is up 20% from the month prior, which is 31, but is down 5% from the year ago, 39 days on the market. And that is a huge change, guys, because if you look here, you can see obviously there's peaks and valleys. But January, we were at 64 days on the market. Sorry, my laptop's dying, of course. in 1 second here. I just got done an appointment, so I had to run over here, get this done. Didn't exactly have the setup time that I normally like, but we're back at it. Okay, so 64 days on the market in the beginning of the year. So like I said, it's seasonal. Things tend to cool off after the holidays, right? And November, December, those tend to be hotter months, right? And you can see the peak goes back up here in January. But then you see over here, this is the beginning of last year, 72 days on the market. Then it did the same exact thing. So what we're doing is following a trend, right? We're seeing the days on market half from the beginning of the year. And that is an indicator of that our summer market is going to be just what we've had the past couple of years, which is a pretty hot real estate market. And this is regardless of these interest rate guys, which is, in a way, it's still kind of shocking to me because 7% interest rate, every time the interest rate goes up a percentage point, I think it went from 7 to 7.5, it eliminated 2 million buyers out of the United States market. So really interesting to me. Let me see here, gotta bring this back up. Okay, sorry, I'm still trying to figure out this this Ecamm Live. Here we go. So we should go back to this. All right, boom, there we go. So what do you guys think about those stats? Do you think that's bullshit? Do you think that our market is heading towards a place that we don't want to go, a dark, dark place? I don't know. I think that from what I'm seeing there, that indicates strength. Now, of course, when you're seeing year over year, you want to see a price appreciation. But when we're in the beginning of the year in that seasonality where things go up and down drastically, it's a little harder to kind of gauge that. So when we get into summer, I think we'll have a better look because summer is, typically June, July, August, we should see the top of the price of what we'll see for the entire year. So really, I think comparing that year over year is going to be a better indicator. But we shall see, and we'll stay on top of everything, of course, guys, just here to give you this information. So let's see here. I can add this. Charles Spinato. Shout out to you, Charles. Thank you for leaving me a comment on here. I appreciate you, man. You guys have any questions, let me know. Zach, my boy, how you doing, dude? Glad you're watching these over on Facebook. So this is working on Facebook. Didn't know it was working on Facebook. Fantastic. We just need one of you Instagram people. Let me know, is this working or not? I'm trying to figure this out. We got CB on. Okay, CB is a weekly viewer. He's one of my biggest fans. I'm sure that you saw the city's plan for West City Community Redevelopment District. Your thoughts? Man, it's like maybe I should let you run this, CB, because I'm going to cover that here in a bit. So I'll get to that. And it's something I'm excited about. I live here in West Augustine. CB lives in West Augustine. So let's get on to the next news story here, guys. Let me find the right tab and I will switch it over. Nope, that's not the right tab. Okay, all right, okay. Let's see, I gotta figure this out still. Maybe that is the right tab and I'm doing the wrong one. Yep, that was. All right, so this is the right tab, I believe. Yep, all right. Right tab, wrong news story. This is the right news story here. And unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard that realtors are getting sued left and right. Judge approves multi-million-dollar realtor settlement, upending the way Americans buy and sell homes. This is from CNN. I'm not surprised that they're putting out a misleading headline because they do that all the time for clickbait. So things have changed in the real estate market. That is no question to that at all. Whether that's going to change how realtors do business and how people buy and sell, I don't know if that's really going to change all that much, especially because the industry is really pivoting already in anticipation of what's going on here. So essentially what the main takeaway from this is that there's a lawsuit. Sellers feel that they shouldn't pay for the buyer's agent commission because they're paying for a buyer's agent to negotiate against them on the sale of their home. When in reality, they're not paying the buyer's agent, you pay the broker. So they also said that all the brokerages colluded and said that 6% is the standard rate and that you need to pay 6% and that there's no negotiation in that. That's completely false. It's always been negotiable. If you've ever bought or sold a home, typically we're talking about the selling side, right? If you're ever selling a house, you can always ask them for do it for less. Hey, can you do it for 5? Can you do it for 4? I lived in Brooklyn and commission compression was always a thing there. You didn't in every MLS, you never have to offer a buyer's agent commission. Does it help you sell your house? Yeah, because it helps to get people through the door. So This is a funky thing, guys. I really don't get what's going on here. Either way, essentially what's going to happen is that buyer's agent commission will be taken off of the MLS, which is the Realtor Zillow, essentially. So you don't know for sure, unless you call the listing agent, if the seller is offering to pay for a buyer's agent commission. They're not saying that a seller can't. They're not saying that it's going away completely. They're just saying it's going to be off of the MLS. So really, there's going to be no change in that. A lot of the mortgages, so for example, like FHA has just said that, hey, a buyer can now roll the buyer's agent commission into their loan outside of closing costs. So typically, you can get closing cost assistance from a seller up to 6 or 9% depending on your loan program. Most of the time, we're going to see 6%, right, as being the max. That's if you can negotiate that. They're saying that won't count against you if you add another 3% or 2.5% or whatever it is you negotiate with your buyer's agent into the loan. Now, here's the thing. A seller always paid the total commissions, right? So they paid a broker the total commissions. The broker then pays the seller's agent and pays the buyer's agent the commission split, right? So at the end of the day, commission was already rolled into the loan. It already was doing that. Like in reality, that's what was happening, because if you didn't have a buyer for your house buying the house with a loan, then you wouldn't have any money to pay the commissions. So this whole thing, it's very frustrating, but it's also a good thing for the industry, because there are a ton of shitty agents, right? A ton of them. I work with them all the time. The fail rate within real estate in the first year is 87%, right? So you'd think there'd be a lot of people getting pushed out. There's still a lot of people that just hang around. They do a deal here or there for their friends, and they honestly are doing a terrible job for them because they don't know what they're doing. If you do a deal a year, you're not in the game. You don't know what's going on. So I believe this lawsuit is a good thing. It's going to force out those agents because it's not going to be worth it, because they're not going to be able to negotiate or provide value that shows that they're worth this commission. So they're going to be pushed out of the game, and they're not going to want to do it. And it's also just going to be too costly for them, to do one transaction in a year, pay all their fees, pay all the other things that you have to do in order to get a transaction done, and then also provide value to the client. It's just not going to be worth it. So in general, this is a good thing. Does this mean that you can't get representation from a buyer on new construction, on resale homes from a buyer's agent? Not at all. The best agents are still going to move forward like nothing's changed, right? So even if you are selling your house, don't expect like, oh, I'm going to pay a buyer's agent anymore. Well, do you want to sell your house? Because more than likely you're going to be competing with other people who will pay a buyer's agent. And then you're competing directly with that person that's paying a buyer's agent 3% while you're not. Oh, and by the way, that's always been a thing, right? You could have always not paid an agent at all. You go for sale by owner. That's always been a thing. You could not pay an agent. But technically, based on statistics provided by the National Association of Realtors, which, take that with a grain of salt, it's like 87 or 85% of all transactions end up working with an agent in some form or fashion. So either the for sale by owner works with a buyer's agent that brings in the buyer and they pay them a commission, or they end up working with a listing agent and pay both sides. So for the most part, pretty much everyone ends up working with an agent regardless. So I don't see any change to this, guys. I'm going to get off my high horse. This is just something that is always, people ask me about it. Of course, it's coming up because, the consumer, you guys are way more informed than you would have been 10 years ago on all this stuff, because we have social media, we have the news in your face every single day. But this is a headline that is just wrong. It's not right. So let me know what you guys think about that. I obviously have my thoughts on it. But let's get on to the next news story here, guys. I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see here. Oh, okay, I'm on the right one. Great. All right. So this is something that's pretty cool, actually. Governor DeSantis signs My Safe Florida expansion bills. So condos are included under new pilot program. So essentially what this means is Governor DeSantis signed off on $200 million for My Safe Florida Home program during a news conference on Wednesday. The program offers matching grants from the state to pay for things like new exterior doors, windows, and roofs. Under the new law, people who are 60 years old and older will be prioritized for the grants. So, I mean, obviously in our state here, insurance has been wrecking a lot of people in their monthly payments. And for many of the people that are older than 60 years old, they're on a fixed income, right? They're not in the workplace anymore. They're not generating money for themselves like they were. So whenever they have their insurance increased by 100%, 200%, 300%, that really affects them in their monthly budget. So this is a grant. Grants are free money that is given to you by the state of Florida. There's only $200 million in there, so I mean, how far is that going to go? I don't know. I mean, depends on how much work most people are doing, but figure a new window is $1,000. Probably people have 10 windows in their home, so $10,000 per person divided by 200 million homes. I mean, or $200 million. I mean, could help a good bit. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to do the math on that, but I think it would be a good bit. Someone else could do it for me. But I think that's a good program, and that's something that, like, hey, you know, people, you like them or you hate them. I mean, that's looking out for people here in the state. So I like that. I think it's good. We pay tax dollars anyway, so let's give it back to the people. I'm all about it. So let's get on the next news story. Talk about what CB was talking about. City of St. Augustine approves first steps to revitalize West City neighborhood. The city said it will now collect feedback from neighbors about ways to revitalize the West City. So what they're talking about here, guys, freaking ads, is West Augustine. And West Augustine is where I live, so I'm super stoked on this. Just bought a house here last year. And what I consider West Augustine to be is going to be north of 207 here, south of State Road 16, and east of 95 and west of US 1. So pretty much this whole little pocket right here, really what we're talking about is right here in this little pocket right here. So obviously my house is right there. This is West King Street right here, and this is the area that they're primarily talking about. They said they did a study. Of course, they probably paid $100,000 for someone to ride through this community and say, oh, we see blight and issues in this community, so they qualify for money. Either way, that's what they're doing. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. I'm sorry. So just to recap that, north of 16, south of 207, east or west of US 1, east of 95. This is West Augustine. So this is where they're talking about revitalizing everything. This is West King Street right here. You have 4 Mile Road. You have homes right here. This is primarily where they're talking about. So let me see. Let's just go back to this one. We'll change with it. Yes, it does. Okay, great. So the City Commission unanimously approved the creation of a community redevelopment area in West City, an area west of City's historic district and east of West Augustine. That's confusing. Tax dollars from several revenue streams, including St. Johns County and St. Augustine, will be funneled into the CRA to address things like boarded up buildings, overgrown, and narrow sidewalks. You'd think taxes would just take care of that, right? I've called the county and the city, by the way, for both of those things. Overgrown sidewalks and like just sand and everything. It's so simple to fix. Like the fact that we needed to have a special person come out and say, oh yeah, this is an area of blight is ridiculous. It's very annoying. The city hired an outside consultant, of course, to collect data in the area in order to qualify for the CRA. The state requires evidence of what they call slum or blight being present. The consultant found presence of slum, including fire hazard conditions, and several instances of blight, including but not limited to unsanitary or unsafe conditions and defective roadways and bridges. So, funny enough, like this was actually done a year ago or so, because, and I'm not going to play the video, but both of these buildings now have been redone. Right, so this building here is going to be Flagler College housing. The exterior was just painted. They just put brand new doors on it. They're working on the inside. I think it's going to be open later this year. Right next to that, they just opened a laundromat. Right, so that's brand new. This building right here, they're trying to show like, oh, the roads are terrible here. They dug this up, which you can see right. This is right across the street from here. So this used to be Vic's Crab Hut, right, or Crab Shack, one of those, Vic's Crab, something like that. But it hasn't been open for years and years. But this part right here, you can see, is facing this house, or what it is, the student housing, and this is the opposite side. So if you just turned 180 and looked around. So this building right here is being I think it's going to be turned into a landscape architectural landscape office, I believe. They've already redone the exterior of the building. They're working on the inside right now. They've replaced all the glass, new roof, everything. Looks great. But I think they also dug this up so they could redo the sewer drain for this property. So my point is that yes, I'm all for getting money for West Augustine, but like, this is so annoying because it's like they're pointing out blight and everything on things that have already been renovated and are already nice, and it's a private property, so an owner already took care of it versus the city or the county taking care of it. So here's the point here. The city will now hold public meetings to gather input as it creates a redevelopment plan for the neighborhood, said to have a final plan by October. Now, of course, they didn't outline when those are going to be, which I really am interested. So I will stay on top of that because I'd like to go and have a say in what's happening in West Augustine. I think if there's not, well, one, sidewalks need to be widened and cleaned up. Two, a bike lane. How there is not a bike lane on West King Street is bananas to me. You also have plenty of room once you get past the West City to add a bike lane and additional lanes if you wanted to for additional cars, because there is going to be increased traffic going through there with all the new construction. You have stuff on St. Augustine Lakes, you have Ravenswood Village, and then you have, Entrada and all the new construction on every single block within West Augustine. Glad I bought here because I think this is like one of the neighborhoods that, I'm a mile from downtown St. Augustine, guys. I can walk there in 20 minutes. I can go to the amphitheater in 12 minutes in a drive. I go to the beach in 15 minutes by driving. It's convenient to everything. West City, right? They have West King Wednesday every third Wednesday of the month. They have a comedy show down there. They've opened businesses on all sides of that. Muggsy's Bar just opened there. So if you've ever been to Sarbez, Muggsy's is a sister bar of that. Real Peel Pizza, probably the best pizza in town nowadays. They have a food truck outside of Muggsy's. You have the Bog, you have Tacos My Blessing, best tacos in town. You have Sailbird Distillery, that's where you can actually get a cocktail on West King Street. I think they're redeveloping West Augustine and West King Street to be for locals, right? Because a lot of the locals don't want to go downtown anymore. Downtown is like Times Square, a lot of traffic, a lot of people. It's not really for the locals anymore. So they're trying to make another cool spot right in West Augustine. That's what I believe. That's what I think would be the best use of the area. And also it's walkable, right? That's something that you can't say really about anywhere else in St. Augustine outside of downtown. Downtown St. Augustine, obviously very walkable, not very drivable. And they're trying to limit how many people can drive downtown. They're putting a parking garage in West Augustine so that they can do a shuttle to downtown. So within 10 years, I imagine West Augustine is going to be a completely different area. Super stoked on it. I hope it happens. I, of course, will stay on top of it. But let's see here. We got some comments from CB. Throw it up here. So I just sent a map to your email of the proposed boundaries. It will be in between you and US 1. Okay, let me just double check this while I got this up here, CB. I appreciate you. Let's see. Oh, you got another news article here. Okay. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong one here. What's going on? Ecamm Live. Sorry, give me 1 second. Here we go. Freaking ads. So this is West City, as they're calling it. So Buena Onda. This, I've heard, is rumored, was just purchased by the people who own, Muggsy's, who own Muggsy's. They're going to turn this into a music venue. So if that becomes a music venue, I mean, I could see it right now. They've already started, this is new. They redid all this around the door. It's a boat supply store right now, but I could see a marquee right here. Easy. Right here, they have the local refillery. Great little place. Like it's more of a crunchy shop, right? Like if you want to go buy bulk shampoo and bulk oatmeal and bulk this and that, and you use refillable glass containers, you can do that all right here. Sailbird Distillery right here. Then they have the West Egg on the corner over here. The Blue Hen is going to be going you can't see it, but it's right around this corner, a coastal home. But yes, let's see if we can find the map here. Okay, fantastic. So this is actually a lot bigger of a section than I thought it was going to be. And the fact that they called the majority of this blight is pretty interesting to me, because if you're looking at West Augustine, this is definitely the most expensive part of West Augustine over here, and with a lot of the zoning catering to short-term rentals and commercial. So that's very interesting to me. Over here as well, off of Masters, this whole situation is very interesting to me. But I also think it's because this is probably within the tax district of the city of St. Augustine. So yeah, but this is actually a better article than the one I pulled up. I'm glad you sent this one to me, CB. I'll take a look at this. I think this is a good quote here. I think there was a horrible stigma on West King for a long time about it being a really bad part of town. But now we have all these new businesses and everything right here, and there's huge potential in this side of town. And that's something that I saw, to me, it's just like the availability to be able to walk downtown for half of the price of what you get a mile right there. If you go to downtown St. Augustine, you're paying almost double what you'd pay in West Augustine. Now, I think West Augustine is going to be redeveloped, I'd say, essentially for the workforce of the tourism industry, which is what we need because we don't have enough workforce housing. But that's not necessarily a bad thing in my opinion. So CB, awesome, man. Appreciate you, dude. That was a great hookup there. So awesome. Let me get on to the last news story here, guys, and then we're going to be done here for the day. So let's see here. I'm going to share my screen. And this one's a simple one, not as complicated. Dang it. Sorry. Here we go. St. Johns County issues permit for the Home Depot and World Commerce Center. So a lot of things are happening. Last week we covered that St. Johns County just bought the World Golf Hall of Fame area there for $5 million, which is a huge commercial complex, which I think $5 million is honestly a steal. But just across the street, so what we're talking about last week is just north here, just south here. You have the Buc-ee's right here. This is the Costco, and then Home Depot is building right over here. And then I believe right in this section over here, they've already got the land cleared. They're building a Bass Pro in this section right over here. So Home Depot's coming to that area. World Commerce Parkway is blowing up. So that whole area, I think the stock just keeps going up and up and up. It's pretty staggering how quick they're moving on all of this. McGregor Chandler, June 29th. Pretty excited about that. Probably going to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. But Home Depot coming to that area, I think it's needed. There's not really anything in that area. The closest one is off of US 1, close to where I live in West Augustine. It's like 10 minutes for me. So it's like a 30-40 minute drive from these people here to get any type of... There's an Ace Hardware maybe down on 16, but you're not getting that much from Ace Hardware. So yeah, either way, guys, that's happening. It's coming. That area is blowing up. International Golf Parkway 95. That's all pretty exciting. But that's it, guys. That's all I got for you. Here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. going over the market stats, the news you need to know about, thinking about buying, selling, or investing here in northeastern Florida. And also doing a Q&A. So if you have any questions, if you have any great comments like CB, here for you live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Until next time, guys, I'll see you.